Yeah. They ain't believe me when I told them crypto was the future. Now they trying to get in, but it's too late. We've been stacking Marbitz since day one. No banks, no middlemen, just power moves. Let's get it. Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Man, I am not very well today. Albeit what I would say is I don't think I'm going to be sick on the live stream, but I definitely don't feel great. I'm full of cold. I've got it off the kids. I'm absolutely hyped to the max. As you can tell, I am so bullish right now on what's going on in the crypto markets. I can't even begin to explain how crazy bullish I am. So you have to bear with me tonight because we are going to have to battle our way through this live stream. I'm not even kidding. This one's gonna be interesting. Let me tell you, we got a lot to get through as always. Though you would expect us to be dropping the absolute alpha, and we will definitely be doing that this evening. So we got a lot to talk about, a lot to get through, a lot to discuss. In particular, what's going on in the markets. But I will pre-warn you, I am feeling very sorry for myself. I am feeling very much not very well, and yeah, hopefully you guys will stick with me, help out. Hit the like button, tap the screen, do all of that kind of good stuff. That will certainly make me feel just a little bit better. But yeah, very interesting day out there in the markets. Certainly a interesting day overall as well, particularly when you start to sort of take into effect some of the Trump decisions, some of the tariff news that's gone on, and then in particular kind of what's coming over the course of the next 24, maybe even 36 hours, which we'll talk on. I think the fact that we have BTC sitting around 108.8 is kind of all right. I mean, the 109 break didn't happen, but we can sort of get into maybe why that was, and therefore what does that look like going into the course of the rest of the week, which I think is going to be fine. Some macro news we'll touch on because there's a lot going on that at a macro level we need to kind of just keep up to speed on, and then we'll look at anything else you guys want to look at. So in particular, we'll talk a little bit about XRP as well, which I think is going to be good. The big question that's on everyone's mind, is there still an altcoin session coming? And I truly do still believe so, by the way, but we'll sort of talk a little bit to that effect. And then, like I said, you just have to bear with me tonight, all right? I know I've said that like 4 times, and yeah, trust me, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. We'll get through it together. I definitely wouldn't do any sort of weird ASMR thing, and I definitely wouldn't be in a world where you're like, oh, okay, you know, Stick with us. Stick with us. Anyway, what's going on, Tim? Good to see you. Craig says, not me, but wish I could buy more. What's that for? I don't know what you guys are talking about. Robert's here. 37's here. Foz is here. Welcome. Vern's in the house. What's going on, Vern? Good to see you. Blazer X, I believe you're now in 2 places. Daniel, good to see you, man. Swamp's here. Throughout Pete's here. The legend John Shaw's here. Sammy Silver, good to see you. Been a minute. Holmes, Brandon Harris says, let's go choppers. What's going on, Brandon? Vincent says, 2-bit. I didn't hear anything about BTCS for a while. This week they have a free sale back, £5 plus 3 spins. But on treble is also bagging. Nice, Vincent. Like it. Moto's here. What's going on, everybody? Like I said, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you all for the love and support, by the way. I've been really kind of trying to make sure my videos don't have all of those terrible scam bots on there. And I really am working hard to try and mitigate that, so you can feel free to drop stuff in the comments, which I think is important. And again, shout out to many of you, RPM, shout out to Brandon, shout out to 37 as well, dropping those comments in as well as a couple of other views. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. For sure. Welcome as always to the Familia Madrigal here on TikTok as well. You are very much welcome. Hassan says, what's your view on Velo this alt season? We'll talk about that if you want a little bit later on, but thank you so much for the gifts. Anyone know anything about Velo? Looks like you're really keen to find out more about Velo. Stick around. We'll touch on it later on. Blazer is everywhere indeed. So again, we hit 30,000 likes on our live stream last night on TikTok. So again, if you want to just get absolutely macro bullish on that, let's do it. Let's grind it out. And I want to start with an interesting quote here from none other than Alex Becker. Now, it depends if you enjoy him or not. I think he's very Marmite when you sort of talk about him. But he had a very interesting state. He says, videos will start again soon. I've nothing to say, except hold your alts and wait. We have planted seeds perfectly. We will reap soon. Hold the line. I mean, it's a pretty interesting statement, but I kind of, agreeing with him. There's a couple out there maybe that I think would test even the most resolute of holders. We'll touch on those in just a minute. But yeah, I think that the reality is, and there's some big news happening today that people need to be aware of and certainly need to just have dialed into what's going on in the market, because I think this could shake the altcoin market. Now, you can always tell that there is a slight change. Ethereum leading the charge in that we actually outperformed the altcoin market, outperformed Bitcoin, which is kind of good news. So again, we'll break down what's going on, but this is the 12-hour chart. I thought it was a bit more interesting than what we got in terms of the daily, only because actually you can sort of see where we are. We touched on this a little bit last night And albeit the market is kind of boring, we are at a very interesting point here that we officially have broke the downtrend and are still managing to hold on to this. So this may print a little bit. We may see a 110, 650 retest, maybe. I think what's important, though, is we close 3 hours, 54 minutes on the daily candle. It'd be good to close above that line. You can see how that line's kind of come through from a support and resistance previous. I know you guys can't see it on TikTok, but it is kind of important as to where this line sort of officially goes. You can see where we broke through, the bears managed to get hold, retested it 3 times before the breakdown, and then we sort of slowly build back up. You can see the retest on the close there on the daily candle, on the 12-hour candle on the 7th of July. We then break back down, and then we're back up again. So very volatile, albeit you could argue very stale, right? 37, thank you for that. Tapping in, getting those points. Appreciate it, buddy, as always. Thank you so much for the gift. And again, if you want to support my work on here, don't forget, you can just click on this and you can support us. And it literally costs you nothing. Hey, Tim would start taking profits. XRP entry, 45 cents. Oh, wait, Nicola, what's going on? Welcome, Stephen Short's in the house, you absolute legend. Curtis, what's going on? Curtis, thanks for the comments on my videos today. Appreciate you. As always. The Ripple Reverend says, what's your ideas on Proppy? Give me a clue. Cheese, what's going on? Appreciate you being here. So yeah, this is a key level for us on BTC. Now, this is flowing interestingly into certain altcoins. XRP continuing the breakout. Again, if you look here on the weekly, this is a very bullish setup for XRP. That's why I want to talk about it tonight. This could be pretty exciting if we can continue this break. Now, it's a key level to break. 232. I've talked about this now for months. The break above 232, that is what's on the cards right now. This is going to give us a true indication of whether XRP is going to send or not. Look at this. Look how crazy this is. Literally retesting this 232 range. We're going to need something, a catalyst to push us over. Some bulls to step in and say, hey, we're sending XRP. And then I think we could be in for a pretty nice ride. Maybe even retesting that 260 range if we were to break above this 232. If not, then we could absolutely see this kind of further ejection coming back down. We may even come back down, retest as low as 220. We could even retest 210. So again, think about where that is going. I think this is a very interesting and more importantly, a very nice setup in terms of where XRP is going. It's pretty much hit exactly what we thought it would do. And it's, in my opinion, again, this 232 range that we've been talking about forever is absolutely a key break for us. So we'll keep close to Bitcoin. Like I said, I want to see this break here on the 12-hour as well as the daily. I think this could be pretty interesting as it kind of walks through. And certainly when you sort of talk a little bit about some of the macro things that are going on, well then, you know, it's actually kind of bullish as well. So yeah, thanks for the share, 37. Thanks for the ice cream cones. Please make sure you're sharing out this TikTok live. It does massively help out. Again, lets more people know that what's going on in the crypto revolution, they need to be following good people. And we as a community are one of those good people. So yeah, but yeah, Trump saying that tariffs have now had a 0 impact on inflation. Try telling that to the kind of short-handed, paper-handed crypto lunatics. However, he was very critical once again of Jerome Powell, saying that he's been whining like a baby about non-existent inflation for months. Cut interest rates, Jerome. Cut the frickin' interest rates, Jerome. However, if you've ever tried to put a square peg in a round hole, that's a little bit like what Jerome Powell's doing right now. Jerome Powell does not want to cut rates. I don't know whether there's political bias in it or not, right? I don't know. I think it's a very slippery slope if you sort of allow yourself to go into that place. But there must be something else. That's all I'm saying, right? I'm not going to sit on either side of the fence here. There must be something else. There has to be a reason that maybe others don't see. And I get that he doesn't or shouldn't just take orders from the president. That's not how it works, right? That becomes a dictatorship as opposed to a democracy, albeit it's kind of not really a true democracy, but you get my point. He has to kind of stand what he believes from an economist perspective. But there has to be something else going into it. Inflation is not going up. It actually dropped below 2% today. I tweeted this out. If you are following me on X, by the way, you should definitely be doing so. But I actually tweeted it out. Inflation is now at 1.85%. Remember, many people get confused in terms of inflation and interest rates. They are two separate things. Inflation obviously is a measure of costs versus the interest rates are obviously the rate in which you pay. But, you know, you'd have to take a look here. True inflation, where's the US sitting? 1.7%. So actually is below the federal funds rate or what they want at a 2% measure. So again, there's kind of no real reason for it. Obviously, Jerome Powell getting a bit of heat. There he is, look, from Donny T. We'll see if that kind of plays out. I don't know if it will or not, but I mean, he's been very critical of him, and I think we'll see how it kind of plays through. So yeah, worthwhile thinking about, in my opinion. However, bringing it back to a more up-to-date discussion, which obviously is a bit more bullish in terms of where markets sit. Altcoins, we'll talk about a few of them. There's only really a few that have struggled today. Zebek had a rough ride today. Is continuing to dump, actually. So, You know, are we going to see a reversal on Zebek? Let's hope so. Casper got a 3% move today, which is kind of nice. Jupe down a little bit, albeit that platform's starting to really mature in terms of some of those token launches, which would be good news over there. Chainlink at 3.5 is a solid move. The DXY came down, good news. Bonk with the Bonk Fund Launchpad down 4%. Hopefully people didn't chase that. I'd wait a little bit. This could retest easily with a little bit of bad news, the kind of 4018, so keep your eyes peeled on that. We also, though, have Kronos, which I know many people have been talking about today, absolutely skyrocketing and going insane. So again, if you held on to your Crow coins, then congratulations. This obviously does serve as a kind of like a, you know, almost like a good news story that holding certain altcoins, and look, if you're holding Krakenu and you're like super bullish on where Krakenu is going to go this cycle, then I don't know what to say to you, but obviously there's some in the top altcoins, and particularly we're going to talk about a couple in this video, this live stream, by the way, which I think is very, very bullish. So ETF excitement driving Crow price today. Lots of people predict that there could be a Crow ETF launch. I don't see it personally. I don't think the ecosystem's big enough. I don't think institutions care enough. And I would also argue that Crowcoin and the Crypto.com exchange has kind of like fallen off this kind of celebrity hype thing. I just don't think it's going to happen, but I'm just a guy that talks about crypto on the internet, so maybe it does. But yeah, Crowcoin looking very, very bullish indeed. Rest of the market looking decent. We see a little bit of outflows in that USDC, USDT pot, albeit only about 0.8%. So nothing too crazy as that one plays through. So overall, you know, you might argue a pretty boring day in the market, but a boring day that was green nevertheless, which we'll all take that. Got in at 0.05, nice. Yeah, don't need the crisis to print money, just need a change in policy. That's true. I mean, they're printing money now. I mean, the banks are printing money at crazy rates. We just don't know it yet. M2 obviously is exploding. That only comes from printing money. So there is sort of this almost hidden discussion that is very much around the fact that they're just printing a shit ton of money. So anyway, interesting. Right. Let's talk about some interesting, also some big news coming as well. Truth Social now primarily looking for a blue chip ETF. Now, this one is pretty interesting. President Trump's Truth Social filed for a crypto blue chip ETF that includes Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. In fact, it holds the following: 70% Bitcoin, 15% Ethereum, 8% Solana, 5% Crow, and 2% XRP, which is where the excitement's kind of come. So again, this could be very interesting. If you think about it, XRP holding in there, and Ethereum, which I've been talking about forever. I don't think this will be the first. I think this could be the first of many as we start to see a potential reposition for Ethereum. If you aren't bullish enough on Ethereum, I actually have a video coming out after this live stream talking specifically about why I'm super crazy on Ethereum right now. Am I going to say it's going to go and do a 50x? No, right? No, but I am still very optimistic about where Ethereum is going to go. But this is a big deal. This will be the second one, and I think the first really that's going to kind of play through in terms of an ETF for an altcoin ETF, as you could call it that. I mean, basically, it's basically a Bitcoin ETF with a few bits chucked on the side of it. But additionally, an amendment to the trust agreement to change the allocation ratio. The trust will notify shareholders of prospective settlement. So they want to be in a world where they can actually change this out as well, which you can kind of read the writing on the wall. They'll launch it with Bitcoin. This is a true verified way of launching an ETF. It's a verified way of getting capital into these ETFs, and then I think they will diversify that portfolio and change it a little bit. Maybe take a bigger proportion of Ethereum, maybe bring something else into it. AVAX, as an example, could drop into there. Maybe even some other ones that are at the top end of the crypto market. So, you know, worthwhile thinking about. But Truth Social, Trump going big, and they're going big on altcoins, which I think is a very good news as well. Damien, what's going on, buddy? Appreciate you. Yeah, wasn't Crow included in the Trump's big chip blue ETF? There you go. Look, absolutely it was, Craig. Shout out to you. I don't do exchange tokens personally, but I'm a dumb CBNB. Yeah, BNB is going decent, actually. Don't need a crisis to print money. That's true. I think I already said that. Bit of a red flag, Tim. Tim says, Tomato Pete, that was a lesson years ago. 2,000% staking. Yeah, avoid that. Avoid that at all costs. So anyway, good news if you ask me. Good news also, by the way, for all those XRP crazies out there, which we're all super, super bullish on and absolutely maxing out our XRP bags. Wells Fargo just said yes to XRP. They are tokenizing real estate worth $650 trillion. Not that total amount, by the way, but it's been tokenized and it's going to XRPL. This is going to be a big deal. Bear in mind, obviously, Wells Fargo are very bullish on Bitcoin ETFs. They're deep in the crypto markets, and now they are trying to front run XRP and obviously the build out. Now, we talked a bit about stablecoins. That's a very bullish thing, particularly when you look at where they're launched, where they are. You look at TVL of stablecoins, they drive market adoption. Wells Fargo going with XRP is a big deal, right? It's a big deal, and I don't think this is the last of them. I think we're going to see way more companies deciding that they are all about it, which kind of plays very much nicely into this. So you've got the bullish crossover here on the bottom, which is actually the oscillating RSI on the weekly candles. What you can note here, by the way, is when we've had a previous cross on the weekly chart, which is then followed with bull market moves, at least a couple of months when we see an absolute max hype on this, and this has happened now over the course of the last 2 years. Is and are we about to break this MACD bullish crossover and send us a significant proportion higher in the overall altcoin market, while at the same time continuing to see that institutional buying of ETFs? Very interesting indeed. So we actually saw a good chunk going in there as well. So 1,387 gone into that iShares Bitcoin Trust, as well as a number of others. 21 selling a little bit, nothing too crazy. Over 11,000 Bitcoin left exchanges today as well. So, you know, lots of good news stories. And just to give you a bit of an idea, yesterday's, by the way, over $216 million. I think today will be slightly less. However, still optimistic in a pretty much turmoil day. So I think, look, that's going to be playing off. I'm really sorry, by the way. My foot is like super itchy right now. I don't know why. What do they say about feet? Is it like because... Does it mean that something's talking about you, or am I committing to money? Does anyone know what it is? I can't remember what it is. Just to let you know, by the way, I'm not actually like getting anything weird out of my drawer, but my foot is like super itchy right now. I don't see why Powell don't want Trump. Says though, just drop rates, it backfires, and then put the bank. I mean, it only backfires if inflation risks are there. I mean, everyone's saying that, and I mean, particularly economists are saying that there is no risk to recession. And, you know, I guess it's not athlete's foot, it's the other end. I guess if you've got trillions of dollars, billions of dollars, whatever it is coming in, you're kind of like, well, it's kind of all right. It's like a meme coin, isn't it? As long as that meme coin's got volume and it's going up, then you're kind of like, well, I'm all right here. The minute it stops, that's when you need to worry about it. When the fun stops with meme coins, you got to stop. When the fun stops with recession and inflation concerns, you got to stop printing money. So anyway, it's athlete's foot. It's not athlete's foot. Athlete's foot's at the end, you massive choppers. Just an itch. Curtis told us he said he needs more jobless and mortgage fermented. I mean, whatever that is, I don't know. But yeah, interesting if you ask me. So lots of positive news, particularly when it therefore lays into this, aligned to that M2 global liquidity that continues to push up as well. So we'll see. All right, we'll see. Keep tapping that screen, everybody. Keep smashing that like button if you're over on YouTube. Do me a favor, just head down to the bottom of the screen, tap that like button. It does obviously help out the channel. If you haven't already subscribed as well, we talk about cryptocurrency, keeping you informed and bullish over the course of the next, certainly the next few years, hopefully. And do you know what else is bullish? I've got my thumbnail done for my tax video that I'm going to do. So it's going to be talking all about taxes. You're going to love this, by the way. You're going to love it. Let me show you. This this thumbnail. You're going to actually love this, by the way. You're going to actually love it. There you go. Look, bullish. That's what we're doing. That's what we're going to be talking about. So again, if you want to make sure that you're dialed into what that looks like, make sure you're hitting that like and subscribe button, and then you are not going to miss out. That is one you are definitely going to want to see, everybody. That is what you're going to want to see. Right. Don't say the T word. I know, yeah. Scary stuff, but we'll be fine. Hey, The Real Dave, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Got my cross steak. Nice, 37. Nice. Lab, what's going on? Welcome to you. Appreciate it. Yeah, keep tapping that screen. Keep sharing us out. Keep getting bullish on what we're building. It is important, and it absolutely massively helps out. And again, we've got a couple of announcements for our subscribers on TikTok as well, coming very, very soon. So just a couple of little inside alpha snippets. So if you subscribed, look out for those videos. They are just for you. So keep your eyes peeled on that. How to go to jail with 2-bit. No. Clearly, I'm not going to be like, oh, guys, here's how you do it. No. We're going to work it through from a standpoint of somebody who doesn't want to lose it. By the way, I've always been a pro-tax paying individual. I think it's the right thing to do, but yeah, we'll talk about it. Right, into some other news then. Let's get a bit bullish. SharpLink, they are now continuing to buy Ethereum like crazy people, as are Bit Digital, by the way. So SharpLink Gaming has now had its share price surge nearly 26% on July 8th after the Minneapolis-based online gaming company revealed a major expansion into the crypto treasury. They are going ham, by the way. Look at this. Look at their holdings. They're now holding well over $470 million in LS ETH, which is obviously overstaked as well. So they are like, not only are they grabbing ETH, they are staking that sucker as well. Like, they are like, we are all in. Give me more Ethereum. I'm like super crazy bullish. So yeah, they hold 470 million Ethereum staked and they sent 25,312 ETH to Figment validators, and then are now running a node, which is kind of interesting. So not only have they just sort of decided that they're going to come into the crypto market, again, they raised 64 million last week. They've gone, they're in. Do you know what I mean? They've gone 2 foot. They are like, we are super crazy, macro bullish on the markets. Take all our money. Let's go and raise some more money. Oh, by the way, we've got a game as well. It's pretty crazy. And they are absolutely in it. So yeah, absolutely in it. 2bit, did you do Denzel's taxes, mate? No, not at all. I don't know if you had a good time or not, but yeah. Actually, with work, by the way, I've just agreed for them to kind of look at all my taxes and see if there's a way of, you know, finding any positive outcomes with tax. So yeah, that could be good news. Anyway, all the companies Ethereum holders are currently staked or restaked. That shows you conviction, as are BitDigital's, which obviously they bought $250 million as well. So they are like very much aligned to what's coming with Ethereum, and in my opinion, very much aligned to the bullish sentiment that sits there. Some might say, oh, 2bit, you've been talking about Ethereum now for a while. I don't absolutely believe it's going to be like super crazy, but I definitely think it's a good news story coming. And when you sort of walk through some of this stuff, I think it's very, very bullish indeed. So I'm all for further build outs when it comes to Ethereum, and I think a lot of people will miss that Ethereum hype. Not saying you should go and sell everything and move all into Ethereum now, but it's literally like a tweet away, isn't it? Oh, the SEC have greenlit an Ethereum ETF, which, by the way, they are now being forced through to launch a Solana ETF. I don't know if you saw that. All those S1 filings expedited to get done by the end of July. They have until the end of October to do them. They are literally rattling through Solana ETFs like crazy people, so watch out. I think the Solana ETFs come in, I would almost go as far as say next 4 weeks, I think we get a Solana ETF. That's my opinion. Too many spot tax, but they are too many taxes at too high a rate per population count. Fees, lower taxes, losses, offset taxes. Don't forget tax-free limits. Don't sell to fiat paid. Yeah, $6,500 you can do in the UK. Don't forget you can also transfer £3,000 to a spouse or a partner, which is tax-free as well. That's not me manipulating anything. That's just fact. That is what you're allowed to do. So there's loads of things you can do in terms of it. You can offset losses, you can count transaction fees, all the rest of it. We're going to walk through all of that on that video so that you are, again, I'm not going to sit there and go, oh, this is how you avoid paying your taxes. That would be insane. I'm going to just kind of walk through what the steps are and how you can kind of avoid it or maximize your return while at the same time doing what's right. So yeah, good. 254 million of Solana RWA TVL is from Ondo Finance Assets. Yeah, lots of stuff coming with Ondo Finance as well. Building out on XRPL, building out on Ethereum. Good news. Civil partnership can be gained if on lower income. That's true. That's true. Curtis is all bullish on Ondo Finance as well. So yeah. Anyway, this is kind of good news. Keep your eyes on it. Shoutling looking crazy. Now, also some pretty interesting stuff going on here. Some big transfers going on. The big wallets are moving amounts of money around on exchanges. Pretty interesting. Here you go. Look, PayPal USD over 8 million OCD. Pepe had some chunk moving around, as well as ApeCoin, Mantle, MNT. Not that that's worth anything right now because it's a complete waste of time, but we actually saw a significant amount of money moving around, particularly the first digital USD, which is kind of interesting, $1.2 million. They were all being notable on the list of people transferring it out. Could just be moving liquidity around. Could be interesting, though. Some pretty big wallets chucking some big altcoins. Is this, once again, a sign of what's coming for the altcoin market? Maybe. And then look at this. I thought this was an interesting statement. Tether now holding $8 billion worth of gold in a Swiss vault, matching UBS exposure. That's kind of crazy to think about. Paolo Andrinio, who is obviously the CEO of Tether, revealed the firm now holds roughly $8 billion in gold. Now, what's interesting, though, with all of this is actually, oh, look at that. Apparently, I've just joined my own live stream. What's going on, Crypto Bros? Says, yo, let's go. What's going on, homie? Apparently, I've just joined my own live stream. That's pretty wild, isn't it? Look, .2bit Crypto UK. Get out of here. Shall I invite the scammer on the screen again like I did last time? Thanks for the boxing gloves, 37. Bullish on those likes. Well, keep tapping the screen, everybody. 30,000 is what we need to beat. We were up there yesterday. Let's try and absolutely crush 30,000. Just keep tapping away. It keeps getting super bullish. Likewise, if you're over there on YouTube, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It absolutely supports what we're doing as well, which is good news. So, yeah, anyway, look at this. Notably, Mika granted license to 53 crypto firms' first 6 months of regulation, but excluded Tether. This will always be a problem. But USDC, not so much. RLUSD, not so much as well. So, yeah, could be interesting. Could be interesting. 2bit, find out how I lost my keys in a boat accident loophole. It's going for your video. What? Nice. I like it. I'll definitely look at it. Vern, thank you for the heart, me. Appreciate it. Grab those points, baby. Get yourself up there. It does help out. I appreciate that. Again, it costs literally pennies, and you guys are crushing it. So, yeah, thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. Lauren Babs here. What's going on, Babs? LK's in the house. What's going on, LK? What is going on? So, yeah, appreciate you guys for sure. Okay, this is kind of where we sit with the news right now. BTC having a nice little rally, actually. 108.884. Having a nice little push in the last, like, 30 minutes or something. Don't know why. Nothing's breaking on my screen. Don't know if anyone else has got anything new, but we'll sort of stick with this. Nice little candle forming on the 15-minute, though. Nice little move on BTC. We'll see if we can move with a bit more volume. Definitely feels like something's happened. I don't know what. Let's try and take a look at... Let's take a look on the social media front. Let's see if anything crazy is going on. Michael Saylor is comparing Bitcoin to Ethereum and Solana. That's nothing about anything that we want, by the way. Let's have a look. Right. Crypto fear and greed index. No one cares. Whales buying over 120 million. Cardano is interesting, by the way. They are trying to get USDC to go onto Cardano. That would be pretty crazy. That would be pretty crazy. Just in, Trump says new CEA study found tariffs have had zero impact on inflation and caused Jerome Powell to cut interest rates immediately. That could be interesting. Let's read this. Let's see what old Trumperino says. He is very much going after Powell, isn't it? A new study by the Council of Economic Advisors led by highly respected chair Dr. Stephen Mirren has found that tariffs have had a zero impact on inflation. In fact, the study shows the import prices are actually dropping. I was reading about this today, actually. I was actually reading about this, just like I always said, they were the fake news and the so-called experts were wrong again. Tariffs are making our country boom. Many new factories, jobs, and trillions of dollars in investments pouring into the USA. Someone should show this new study to too late Jerome Powell, who's been whining like a baby about non-existent inflation for months and refusing to do the right thing. Cut interest rates, Jerome. Now is the time. I mean, I wonder how long he can truly like hold out. You can just imagine it, can't you? You can imagine it where he's just like, right, Mr. Donald, sir, are you okay this morning? Get me Jerome Powell in here. Get me in a minute. I need to talk to that absolute piece of tropperness. Ghetto Superstar. What's going on, buddy? Welcome. Welcome to you. I appreciate you for sure. Thank you so much. No Chance Holmes, my second heaviest bag. What? Cardano. Justin's bullish on Cardano. Look at that. Yeah. Bullish on that. I'm not 2-bit Holmes. What comes first, a new Oasis single XRP Moon or GTA 6? That's a great question. I'll probably go with a new Oasis signal. Single even, not signal. That'd be weird. Yeah. Anyway, too late, Jerome. I mean, seriously, like, how long can he avoid the fact that he is going to just avoid it? Man, BTC is pumping right now. We may see a 109 retest. What also, by the way, is worth noting, and I was watching this earlier on. You can tell I had a super busy day at work. I was watching this earlier on, the correlation between the Qs, and I'm not a stock market or a trader by any stretch of the imagination, by the way. But yeah, the Qs is kind of interesting, by the way. I think it's the QQQ is the general one that a lot of people trade on. If you see a nice move on that, obviously the market's closed, by the way, right? So you got the Qs. Invesco Trust Series 1, I think, is the kind of big one. When you sort of see this move on the Qs, it sort of does play out very favorably into the Bitcoin market, or certainly when you start to see this kind of play out through the course of the day. Again, I'm kind of studying the correlation between the two. I don't really understand it too much. If anyone is a little bit more clued up on than I am, then let me know. But yeah, the Qs, pretty interesting. Does seem to be correlating with a move on BTC. Obviously, with the markets closed right now, it's kind of not doing anything, and Bitcoin's just free to go and do what it wants. But yeah, do you believe tariffs have had no impact on inflation? Do I believe that? 2-bit, how's SXX doing? Shut up, Tim. I hate you so much. I hate you, Tim. I'm just saying, Tim, right? I'm just saying, Tim, I don't like you. All right? I'm kidding. I think you're one of the greatest people on the planet. Do I believe tariffs have had no impact on inflation? If that is a question for me, by the way, I think where I get to with it is... No. I'm going to say no, right? Which I think is a controversial statement, but let me tell you. What I think of tariffs is that the consumer almost creates inflation. But actually, the inflation on... So here's the thing, right? We know that like a massive proportion of inflation is built up about goods and housing, which have had zero inflation on it, basically. Inflation has predominantly been on food, cars. I mean, CPI data will be interesting when that comes out, but... my view is I don't necessarily think it's had an impact. That I think people believe that to be the case. So therefore, I'm sort of in a place where I think on certain elements, I think it's driven people to potentially see inflation, but maybe not so much as it all kind of filters through. So I'm going to stick on no. I don't think it has created inflation, but I think consumer decisions may have, and the lack of therefore being able to purchase imports I think is interesting. We talked about it yesterday, didn't we, in terms of where some of the imports are actually coming from, which is just a complete waste of time. So, yeah, that's where my view. I think balancing the budget will be a more important bit. And if you compare, and I'm spending a lot of time looking at the UK economy, I've never really bothered with it. I've never really bothered with UK politics. I've never really bothered with like UK economy and like where it all goes and all that kind of stuff. But it's sort of piquing my interest a little bit because I think our country's not good at the minute. I really do. And I don't want to get too political on this, but I don't think the UK is in a good place. And I don't necessarily think Keir Starmer and all those people are doing a good job. I really don't. The more and more I start getting into it. And I would argue that inflation is worse in the UK than it is in the US. And the economy's bigger, I get all that kind of stuff. But then you sort of go, well, why is there such a difference? And it's the drain on the drain on the economy versus the not drain on the economy. And I think that's where you get probably a bigger spike in inflation. So I think, look, time will tell. Trump's always going to push the narrative of there isn't any. I still think we've got to sort of work our way through that. But yeah, there's a really long-winded answer for no. That's just my opinion. Right, SHX, 191. Screw you guys. Had a pullback. I hope it goes to 0. I'm kidding. Sort of. Yeah, SHX looks all right. 191.84 million market cap. 20 G's in volume. I think I sold here somewhere. Oh, God. I hate crypto sometimes. Anyway, looks all right. I'm going with the new Oasis signal. Yeah, I think you're probably right, Beebs, in fairness. Definitely not GTA 6. Yeah, I don't think so. We're all looking for that Aiden Ross server where we can earn our crypto coins by playing Grand Theft Auto 6. That's going to be wild. I don't know if I'm bullish on Cardano, but my bag is loaded and I'm ready for a move if Charles to create something. Do you know how Cardano explodes, right? Let me tell you how Cardano makes a massive move. They bite the bullet and they put USDC on there. It's a lot of money. Like, you're talking hundreds of millions of dollars because that generates an ecosystem. It generates people's use of Cardano. At the minute, their TVL's awful. The transactional volume is awful. And at the minute, there is really kind of no big desire. At all, actually, with it, I think. So they've got to get a reason for people to use that chain, which wouldn't be, in my opinion, because don't get the chain's pretty cheap. They've got to put USDC on there. They've got to get a stablecoin narrative or something. That's my view. But yeah, SHX looking pretty bullish. Yeah, great news. Great news. Right. Anyway, let's keep with Bitcoin right now. Did look to retest 109, got rejected. BTC dominance coming down. Let's go, baby. Dumb this mother trucker. We want to see this come down. The altcoin market is now moving very nicely. Look at that. Over that support line that we talked about. Two key things happening right now. Breakout on altcoins, breakout on BTC, and a breakout on XRP. Some key things happening right now. This could end up being a very bullish week for us. And hopefully we see some further moves to upside, isn't it? Fingers crossed, eh? Fingers crossed. If you say the Yorkshire accent, it definitely gets better as well. Don't forget, keep tapping that screen, everybody. We're now just broke 10,000 likes on TikTok. Thank you so much, you guys. Crushing it, and we're 88 people live here with us on YouTube. So again, do me a favor, hit down to the bottom of the screen, tap that like button. Massively helps out the channel, lets people know that this is where you need to be if you want to hear all about cryptocurrency. Stay dialed into the market, stay humble in the market. That's important, and ultimately make sure that you are making it happen this bull market cycle, right? Loads of people will have sold, loads of people have freaked out. Not us. We're dialed in. We know what's coming. I'm here for the long run, albeit I don't know if it's going to be that much longer, but hey, we'll see. We'll see. Cobb will be on soon to rug today's process again. Who? Who the hell's Cobb? H-bar is so underrated. Daniel, interesting. Yeah, we've talked about H-bar a few times. It's kind of in a similar place to things like Algorand. I mean, you might get a H-bar ETF. That would be kind of crazy, wouldn't it? If you got some sort of ISO ETF. I mean, the ETF market's going to kind of just go to some sort of craziness when that all plays through. But yeah, very much. I think H-bar's got a big opportunity. I think a lot of people are optimistic on it. Oh my God, what is this? All the people I work with are at some sort of posh do tonight. And I didn't get invited. Can you believe that? They were like, no chance. Get out of here. You're an absolute joke. I'm like, oh man, really? Really? And yeah, apparently I'm not invited. But I don't even want to go. I don't even care. I don't even like it. It's a waste of my time. Anyway, get out of here, you massive set of choppers. There's the CEO of my company looking jazzy, as always. In his, do you know he's got like 7 Ferraris. It's ridiculous. And he actually is the director of over 70 different companies. Crazy. Anyway, he should invest in Bitcoin. Right. Good news. Okay, if anyone's got any things, posh at McDonald's. If anyone's got anything that's on their mind, anyone wants to look at a token, break some news down, do some TA, whatever it is, let me know in the chat. Also, by the way, if you've got any questions on anything that you've heard in tonight's live stream, let me know as well. This is over to you guys. We'll try and keep you posted on any breaking news that may come in. What I will warn you, though, is our breaking news tends to be pretty pants. but yeah, pretty pants. So we'll hopefully get some more positive news. And likewise, if we want to look at a couple of altcoins, then let me know. Other than that, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, keep bullish. It's all good. Everyone hates the boss, man. Actually, do you know what? Our boss, all right. Do you know, weirdly, in September, like the end of September, our company is taking all of our store managers, all of us in terms of like multi-site managers, to Spain. They've hired like Ferrari World out. We're going there for 4 days. How crazy is that? 1,000 people, about 4 million quid. Flying everyone out, private jets, like chartered jets, all pretty crazy. Yes, we're going to Spain for free. I still think we see BTC here at 105 to 106 before all-time high. Really, RK06? Why do you say that? I'm curious. I'm curious about your thoughts. I don't necessarily think we see that anymore. Look, could we see a lower retest? Maybe 107. 103 is wild. I mean, that is a big push down. I mean, it's 5%. It's not crazy. By the way, to all-time highs, though, look at this. We only need about 2.5%. 5% gets us to 120. Think about that. Think about that. Oculus, what's going on? Says, what about the environment? What do you mean? Do you mean as in like flying loads of people to Spain, or do you mean like crypto mine? What do you mean? If you're not invited to meetings for work because you can get there first, you'll be fired. That's true, Justin. That is true. I'll be going though. I'll be there. I've got to go make sure. Like, so I have 11 direct reports, and then about 400 that sits below them. I've got to make sure all like make sure there and come back. Yeah. All good, Oculus. I thought so, but I appreciate you. But yeah, again, I mean, it is what it is. It's a free holiday to Spain. I'm not going to deny it. It's going to be bullish. Although apparently we've got to wear white, so I need to get super slim down so that I can wear my linen and white and kind of be around everybody. Be like, hey, I could actually live stream from Spain. Imagine that. Just like get to the point. Bear in mind, the October is like back into September, so we might be like all-time highs in the crypto market. All our portfolios might have absolutely skyrocketed. I might be in a place where I could eventually say, hey, I don't need this job anymore. And we'll do like a big live stream live from Ferrari World in which I go and tell the CEO of the company to shove his job up his ass. I'll do that, and then the market will probably tank to about 104 or something the day after. White linens. Yeah, Curtis already got it in his mind. Curtis thinking, man, 2bit look great in some white linens. Anyway, we're getting off topic, which normally happens in fairness. So, Bitcoin trying a little bit, nothing too crazy, but look, it'd be nice to close out the day as a green candle. Again, closing out above that. Likewise, XRP 231, it needs to push above 232 though. We need to see a little bit more from the bulls. They need to get us over that line. I think we could absolutely be in a good place. So, Cool Cat Cosmos, what's going on, buddy? Welcome, says Stella. Yeah, what's XLM at right now? Jasmine's up 0.4. Ondo breaking above 80 cents. Hopefully, Aerodrome Finance looking pretty good. Zebek has turned green on the day. Good news, Zebek. Get there. XLM is... What the hell is XLM? Do I not have it here? Oh, there it is. Up 3.5 on the day. So, yeah, XLM looking good. 25 cents. Decent. Decent. I mean, there's some great coins in there. If you think about... If you have conviction on altcoins, I mean, there's such a big opportunity with them. Really is. Obviously, it's higher risk. But, you know, it's got to move at some point. This market can't keep doing what it's doing, and altcoins simply don't move. But, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Need a God candle, take XRP past its price. Yeah, true. It's just got to break 232. Don't forget, Brad Garlinghouse at the White House tomorrow. Could be interesting. I don't think we'll see anything too crazy, but it'll be interesting as that kind of walks through, particularly with all these ETF filings. I think we may see a little bit of a dump. I don't know what time he's there, by the way, but we'll be keeping it close and making sure you know what's going on. So as always, we'll be bringing it live. Wear a white bed sheet. That'd be pretty weird, but yeah, I could do. It might be a bit hot as well, but yeah. 2bit in socks with sandals, mate. You know it, baby. And not even those ones that go between your toe. Like those proper just like sliders. I'm going full on chopper. That's where I'm going to go. I'm going for flippy floppies. You know what I'm about. You know what I'm about. We'll get there in the end. Invite 1 billion likes. Hey, 1 billion likes. Welcome. Okay, good. Right. Anyway, so let's keep an eye on what's going on with BTC. Again, there's not really a lot going on. A couple of things that we'll obviously announce to our subscribers first on TikTok, and then we'll obviously announce it to the rest of the community. There's nothing against you guys, but you know what I mean? Danny's got to make some cash somewhere. Is Elizabeth Warren the banking committee? I don't know, actually. Should we have a look? Shall we see? The banking committee USA. Who's on it? Let's have a look. The banking, housing. Oh, she is. Ranking member Elizabeth Warren. Get out of here, Elizabeth Warren. Does it actually tell us who's on it? Oh, yeah. Here we go. Majority members. Tim Scott, bullish. He's a big crypto person. Mike Crapo, unfortunate name, from Idaho. Mike Rounds, Thorn Tills, John Kennedy, Bill Haggerty, Cynthia Loomis. You've got Katie Britt, Pete Ricketts, Jim Banks, Kevin Kramer, hopefully no relation, Bernie Monero, Dave McCormick, he's bullish on cryptocurrency. Minority members, Elizabeth Warren, Jack Reed, I assume these are Democrats, right? Is one Republican, one Democrat? I'm assuming so. Mark Warner, Chris Van Harlen. Oh, Van Harlen's going to be there. Bring him back. Abrigo Garcia, what the hell? Catherine Cortez, don't know who she is. Who else is on there that we know? Angela Also Brooks, don't know, from Maryland. Probably a complete chopper, but anyway. Anyway, so yeah, that's who's there. We'll see. Rachel Warnock, anyone know who she is? But yeah, they're all on there, so we'll see. We'll see what that looks like. Senators Warren, Shaheen, and Coons announced investigation into Trump administration 5-month pause on sanctions against the Russian war machine. Get out of here, Elizabeth Warren. You're such a massive chopper. Such a massive chopper. It's just odd. Anyway. 2-bit croc and sock. You know it, mate. We're going bullish. Max bullish on that. So, yeah, it could be an interesting day. We'll see how it plays out. Lots of interesting stuff going on as well. So, we will see. Is Vern, are you still in the chat, by the way? Vern, are you here? Is Vern still here or is he not? He did message me a minute ago, but I didn't know if he was still here or not. Vern, what's going on, bro? Keep tapping the like, everybody. Keep locking in those likes. We're nearly at 15,000. We're only at 45 on YouTube. Come on, guys. Do me a quick favor. Head down there at the bottom of the screen. It's literally costs you nothing. Tap the like button. Massively helps out the channel. Right, let's just take a quick look at Ethereum. Obviously, I was talking about this being super bullish. Look at this. Nice little trade here going on Ethereum. If you caught the bottom, very bullish where this moving. Again, though, don't really care until we break 272 or 2732. That's what I give a flying F about. If we break above that, then look, we could be absolutely off to the races. Big consolidation, though, here on Ethereum. Very big consolidation, actually. So we'll see how that continues to play out, as is the rest of the market, by the way. And you know what they say? Consolidation. The bigger the consolidation, the bigger the next move. And we could see something kind of big. If you think, you know, as an example, ETH did that kind of big move, you could quite easily then say, well, the end of the range, when we see that breakout, what do we look at? $4,000 on Ethereum. If the range break is what we saw going into it, we could see that over $4,000. Again, it's all going to be about timing. I think that's conservative as a kind of bull market price prediction. But again, we'll see. We'll see. Loomis is the Bitcoin maxi senator. Yeah, Loomis is bullish on Bitcoin. 15K. Let's get it. 37. We are building the Familia Madrigal here on TikTok. So yeah, we appreciate you guys, obviously, for tuning in. And keep it grinding, keep it moving. Always good news. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to announce the breaking news that's just come in, but it's literally the worst news in the world. We might actually see the markets push down a little bit. US national debt officially reaches a new all-time high for the first time since February. Okay, let's watch Bitcoin. No. Hold on a minute. Don't dump your bags. It's going to be fine. Comma, I think. There we go. Don't dump your bags, everybody. Come on, stick with it, everybody. Have some conviction in your life. We'll see. Tibby, do you think we pump July 14th or nothing? I mean, it depends, doesn't it? I'm probably in a world where I think that right now it's going to need a big catalyst. It's going to need something to move the markets. I think just a traditional kind of like, oh, well, we will see what happens. I don't know. We could see those ETFs, though. I said this earlier at the start of the show. We absolutely could see ETFs launch by the end of July, which I think could be interesting as well. So, I don't know. I know that's like a really bad answer. You're like, no, I don't actually know. But I think we could get an announcement. I think that could be good news. It could be an ETF. It could be, it could be anything really. But yeah, 14th to the 18th, crypto week. Let's see how that plays out. In my opinion, yeah. Could be a good news story. What do you think Kronos price prediction? I mean, loads of people said Kronos to $1. I mean, look, it's gone kaboom today. That could dump easily tomorrow. Don't buy into the FOMO. Don't buy into the hype of Crocoin. I really wouldn't. I'd wait and see. It's all moved weirdly on the back of that potential ETF filing. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Kronos come back down again. I sort of don't get why they put it on there. That's just my view. Don't hate me for it. But yeah, I think, look, could you see a big run on Kronos? Maybe. I think, does it reach back to all-time highs of $1? Maybe. I think they need a big narrative, though, because I don't think anyone particularly cares. And their ecosystem, I think, is pretty flat. There is an ecosystem over there, but, you know, it's not really done the whole meme coin thing. It tried, didn't really do a good job. Its big selling point is obviously crypto.com. And you know, I think once you start getting Ethereum staking ETFs and the potential elsewhere to kind of make your crypto work for you, I don't know what it does, by the way. I don't know what the kind of reason will be, but anyway, we'll see. Nothing till August, I suspect, just volatility building and big, but yeah, maybe she do so many rain dances to pump the bags. Absolutely, yeah. China don't have a crypto week, just saying. I mean, that's true as well, Joe. Look, it's the first time ever we've had an administration have a crypto week. Like, who the hell knows what's going to get announced? Could be anything. They could announce the strategic Bitcoin reserve and buy it. I mean, they could literally buy $1 million worth of Bitcoin, and then, I mean, what the hell does the price do then? Goes absolutely bonkers. So, yeah. I'm all in for the ridiculous. 250k Bitcoin, 50k ETH, $2 CRO, $25 XRP, SHIB deletes 2 zeros. I mean, you can be whatever you want, Greg. I would always say that my glass is always half full as opposed to half empty. I think a $250,000 Bitcoin is a stretch, though. That would just be my view. I think a $250,000 Bitcoin is a stretch. Big stretch, actually. I could see 160. I think I've always stayed in that narrative. Maybe Super Bull case, mass adoption, strategic reserve, countries buying crazy amounts of Bitcoin. What you almost need is the whole China-Russia thing to kind of happen where they try and outpace buying of Bitcoin. That's kind of what you need. Yeah, Bitcoin pushing down a little bit now on that news. Again, might spook the markets a little bit, might spook the markets equally. And I talked about this in my update video. The fact that there is the big national debt may actually drive Bitcoin. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but people may decide to go into risk on assets because what else have they got to lose? Stick it in your bank account, dollar's getting worse. Stick it in Bitcoin, it's traditionally going up. And, you know, if history repeats itself, will continue to go up as well. So people may decide to hedge against it, particularly if you think about ETFs. They may be the driving force around it. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll keep close to it, as always, and hopefully it'll do something. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't know. 2 birds, 1 stone. I mean, that's true. Nice, Holmes. Send $10 parallel universe. I mean, it's true. Still here, but hand to take the dog out for a... Oh, nice. Nice, Lauren. That's great. That's really great. And I'm glad that is your evening. So, yeah. Oh my God, no, my friend always calls me... What? Who the hell knows? Sometimes I don't know what's going on with Lauren Bab. Sometimes I've no idea what's going on with her. Anyway, we appreciate her being here. It's good to have you here, Babs. Right, come on, Bitcoin. Don't lose 108. Let's stay above 108. That'd be, you know, 108, 800. Let's stick above that. I think that'd be nice. That'd be nice. And keep tapping that like button, by the way. We are grinding it. We're grinding it out. Unstable connection. I'm on 5G. So, again, TikTok, you need to sort your life out. But anyway. 160 top. You still think October? Yeah, I still am in a world where I think August, first top, October, probably still in that world of, you know, back end of October based upon what the previous cycles are. I think, look, it could change. Of course it can. If we sort of saw some mass adoption, some craziness, then, you know, we could definitely see something kind of flaying. But yeah, October 18th, we sort of put that on the chart a while back. And then, you know, back end of October, October 25th, something like that, I think is where we potentially get the second all-time high. I think I will certainly, unless the market is like crazy bullish, Bitcoin's at like 160 and looks very, very optimistic. Loads of ETF inflows, loads of long-term holders still holding. Maybe I would hold on, but I think when we get to kind of maybe August, September, I would probably start to unstake, deleverage, start to bring some players off. Just, you know, I sort of want to be in a world where I'm left behind and holding bags. You know, I'm not in a lot of meme coins or kind of what I would deem as, you know, earlier plays. That doesn't necessarily mean that I won't get into some. I think there's a couple of going on right now that could be pretty interesting. I actually connected with someone who's launching a project pretty soon. It seems like crazy. I kind of like the idea of it, but more on that when everything's kind of settled and ready to go. But yeah, Jeff Bezos just dumped $665 million worth of Amazon stocks. Man, Jeff's cashing out big time. Hey, 2bit, just got here. What XRP mega pump happening? Well, Brad Garlinghouse in the White House tomorrow and Truth Social announcing that they want an altcoin ETF of which XRP is going to form 2% of that bag. It's happening. We could definitely see an expedited XRP ETF coming by the end of July as well, both of which are very bullish catalysts that could sort the price of XRP. However, the key level of 232 doesn't look like we're breaking that tonight, unfortunately. So, yeah, anyway. See where that goes. Right, good news. That's the news over and done with. Let's take a really quick look here, by the way. I talked about this the other day, and I think it's just worthwhile referencing. Obviously, ETF flows look pretty crazy. A massive amount, 11,500 Bitcoin left the exchanges today. This kind of continuing to push down, which is good news. As well as, we actually saw Ethereum once again starting to come down as well. So not anywhere near the kind of scene that we've seen with Bitcoin, but Ethereum's starting to come down a little bit, which is kind of good news. You can see here some outflows from exchanges, longer term bullish. This is good news as well. As we're seeing, by the way, when it comes to XRP, we actually see outflows of XRP from exchanges. I talked about that yesterday, and I talked about my XRP update video today if you didn't see it. So yeah. Right, hold on a minute. We got some breaking news from Brad Garlinghouse himself. I'm going to try and patch him into this live stream. Bear with me 1 second. Brad, are you there? Let's just try and dial Brad in. Brad, can you hear me? G'day, Mr. 2-Bit. He's Australian. I don't know why he's Australian. Anyway, head of the banking GOP here and tomorrow. Let me introduce you to some of the 55 million Americans that own and use crypto. I'm testifying tomorrow because these are the very people who deserve market clarity time and time again. The skeptics insist on stereotyping crypto holders, but that's simply not reality. These are the real face of crypto. Take a look in their stories. So, the debate will be the accent could get you sued. Yeah, could be interesting. Again, what's he going to say? Don't know. Go make it worth it, Brad. There you go. Go make it worth it. He's going to be like, thanks, 2-Bit, you super massive bullish person. Anyway, also, by the way, there's some other breaking news as well. Who would have thought it? 2 rounds of breaking news after each one. There's Bezos, look, dumping all his Amazon stocks. Absolute crazy person. Metaplanet buying huge amounts of Bitcoin today as well. So, again, all good news, isn't it? All good news. While at the same time, Bitcoin now pushing down because everyone's fearing the worst when it comes to the national debt, particularly in the US. Ours is worse. But per capita, by the way, ours is way worse. And we keep spending more money. And we keep putting stupid bills together, which are like, oh, yeah, we're going to reform pensions and take loads of cash off them. Oh, yeah, good news. Metaplanet plans to leverage a growing Bitcoin treasury to acquire cash-generating businesses, including a potential digital bank in Japan. Wow, that would be pretty crazy, wouldn't it? That would be crazy. Metaplanet going absolutely macro bullish on the markets. Anyway, we'll see. Bitcoin's still all in one away, which is fine. Defamation of character, maybe. I didn't know Brad gave him Yorkshire. Oh dear. RM, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys for sure. Yeah, maybe it gets me done. Cool cat. Yeah, the expo didn't help. The new someone asked me about the XRP expo. Someone said about that. It's not it's in New York now, isn't it? Have you seen that? The latest XRP Apex 2025. Oh no, not Apex. What is it? I can't remember. It's in New York anyway. So there is a new XRP Expo that got announced today. So if you're interested on that, then yeah, look out for that. Could be pretty crazy. Could be crazy. We need to start building more hotels so that we can have. Yeah, that's true. That's true. What is it? $7 billion? No, £7 billion we spend on that. Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely fucking insane. It's insane. I think eventually the whole the country kind of feels like it's getting to a tipping point where people are just going to go, hold on a minute. What the hell do you mean? You can spend $7 billion on migrant hotels and you can't afford to pay for some. Now, some pensioners, by the way, do not need the money because they are absolutely max rich, but some definitely do. And, I always say this narrative. I've said it all along. If a plane is going to crash, they tell you to put your mask on first, then help everyone else. That's what we need to do. We need to put our masks on here in the UK, then we can worry about everyone else. It's kind of what the US has done, really. But yeah, we'll see. Ripple Swell, that's it. That's it. Yeah, in New York. In New York. Curtis says the only thing you have in common with Brad is his haircut. Really? I reckon I could pass it off. Mike, we were talking about SHIB Vegas Expo last year. Was it last? No, it was 2 years ago, wasn't it? Was it really? Shibarium launched last year. I live in New York for 5 years and moved because New York has got. Yeah, I can imagine arcade. Yeah, I heard about that. I've heard about that, which is kind of crazy, but yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. It is interesting. You have to be careful, don't you? You have to be careful, but no one will ever convince me that spending £7 billion on people to live in a hotel and then we allow veterans and old people to starve or not have heating. Well, no one will ever convince me that's okay, and I'm all right with that. And if people don't like my political views on things, I'm cool with that as well. I'm not hating on anyone, but that to me makes absolute no sense whatsoever. None. You cannot incentivize something that you can't control, because if you do, then you end up with anarchy. And if you end up with anarchy, then you end up basically with a country that goes to ruin. So yeah. Yeah, I did, Holmes. Yeah, I did. It's It's fucking ridiculous. I always thought, I'm sure I was brought up, as I'm sure you were, by the way, that if you got kill a swan, like it's bad news. They're like protected by the queen or something out there. Same with like, kind of feel like it was the same with something else. Anyway, we are way off topic right now. We're talking about something completely different. Completely different, but yeah, I have strong opinions. I'm all for helping people. I'm all for doing the right thing. But I am not at the cost of the citizens of that country. And I would say that for any country, by the way. And I think you've got to have a global standard that people should abide by. You can't have one global standard that we kind of go, oh, well, that's kind of all right because it's not our country. And then like just accept that reality in our own country as well. That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm not preaching hate speech, none of that kind of stuff. I just think, you know, put your oxygen mask on, then you can help everyone else. If you don't have an oxygen mask on, eventually you'll just die like everyone else. Anyway, Ponke, what is going on, my man? Good evening, fellow hodlers. What's going on, buddy? Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you. Hopefully you've brought the familia with you. Brought about another 500 people. Get them in this live stream. Get them bullish. TikTok is a difficult platform to grow up. We've got some absolute G's, though, tuning in with us, so we appreciate you guys. Yeah, I thought that was the case. Actually, yeah. So yeah. Anyway, right. BTC dropping a little bit. 108.731. Nothing crazy. I do want to see a close on the daily, though. I want to see a green candle on the daily. I think, you know, we'd need a 108.300 for it to go red. I hope that we don't see that. I think there'll be a little bit of fear in the market now, given that the US national debt is like all-time high. All right, fine. Move on. I think is probably where we get to. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think it could hold that. I think what's good news today is obviously the altcoin market held up pretty well. So look, you can be bullish on the altcoin market, and I think that's fine. That's fine. I have no idea, 37. I have no idea. Probably not that long, I reckon. Probably not that long. Tim, yeah, honestly, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, it's... PM. You guys are wild. Get the hell out of here, you crazies. You crazies. Yeah, BTC is dropping a little bit. So this definitely, like we said, a little bit of a spookerino on the market. People are like, oh my God, the national debt's going crazy. All right, yeah, cool. I mean, no surprise. I guess to see what happens. What do we have Fed minutes tomorrow, don't we? Fed minutes, jobless claims, could be interesting. Again, that could indicate where inflation sits. Probably worthwhile thinking about. So yeah, anyway, let's just kind of hang out for a little bit and then I'm going to get up and out of here. Managed to make it through the stream, albeit I've got to be honest, that hour has absolutely flown by. Feels like we only started the stream about 10 minutes ago. It's Vern here, by the way. I said it's Vern here and then I just ignored the chat. I think Vern may have gone, by the way. Yeah, so we might do, if Vern can make it, by the way, we might move hashing it out stroke the crypto conversation to TikTok tomorrow night. And the only reason I say that is because we did it on X last week and about 8 people turned up. It's a complete waste of time, right? I know people want to do it there, but it's a complete waste of time. So we might do it on TikTok tomorrow night. It's kind of fun. And again, if people want to come and join us, then by all means, come and join us. It'll be kind of cool to do it. An hour over there, and then, you know, maybe we alternate between the two things. So we might do that. But I'll see what Vern wants to do. So yeah, Tim, they actually do. Yeah, there was one incident, by the way. One incident. Nadar, what the hell are you talking about, you crazy man? I don't want to know. Anyway, keep tapping that screen, everybody, by the way. Thank you for the Thunder Hammers, 37. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. 22.8. Let's try and get this to 30,000 likes. Come on, everybody. Come on, everybody. But come on, everybody. We've got about 5, maybe even 8 minutes left. Keep tapping that screen. Keep getting bullish. Who's at the top up here? Look, I think it's 37. He's winning. Let's absolutely get it. Look, that's my dog look on that one. So let's get it. Let's do it. Let's get to 30,000. Keep tapping that screen. Lock it in. If you want to hear more about cryptocurrency, tap that follow button as well. You've got to be in that place. You've got to know what's going on. You've got to make sure your portfolio is dialed in. The only way you do that, educate yourself. Is that actually true, Holmes? Jesus Christ. I mean, there was the whole horse meat scandal for ages. I mean, think about that. Like, there's been some crazy shit happen. Andrew Gibson, the one and only. What's going on, my man? Appreciate you being here. You absolute legend. You absolute legend. I appreciate you, buddy. What's going on, 420? Good to see you, bud. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, there's going to be so many stories about that. Like I said, the horse meat thing was wild. Findus, the Findus still, is Findus even still going, by the way? They got absolutely smoked selling horse meat. That was a huge scandal. Jesus. That was a crazy time, if you ask me. Anyway, watch out. You bought SWC yet? I have not. Should I? That's the question. Should I? SWC. Should I have bought it? Maybe. What is it? I was getting confused then. I think I was thinking about Swiftcoin. It's not Swiftcoin, is it? SWC. No, what is it? Your thoughts on MBG? What the hell is MBG? I don't even know what that is. Why do I not know some of these coins? What is it? The multi-bank group. Is it that one? Is it that? I don't know what it is. I mean, it looks like it's on a bit of a move. I don't know if that's actually the coin, but SWFTC. Andrew Gibson just said hold on a minute. Look at the American ticker. The smart web oh, we have looked at that before, haven't we? The smart web company. Is it an actual stock? I feel like we've looked at that before, actually. But no, do you know what? I used to play around in stock markets. I think I've said this before. I was a dividends holder, so I liked stocks that paid dividends out. Bitcoin treasury company. Yeah, I haven't actually. I just went all in on crypto. I think I said this before. I took everything out of the stock market. I was investing in dividends based stocks, and yeah, I mean they were crap. So I was like, right, fuck it, I'm sending it all into cryptocurrency, and I went 100%, albeit excluding my pension. I went 100% into cryptocurrency, so yeah. But yeah, I feel like they bought more Bitcoin as well. I feel like I talked about that the other night. So yeah, it's good to see actually. They may have been on my list of. Hold on a minute. Were they on my list of companies that were buying more Bitcoin? Where's my list? Where is my list? It is here. Smart SWC. Let's have a look. UK-based companies. SWC, yeah. So they own 1,000 Bitcoin. They actually bought more Bitcoin. Yeah, the Smart Web company, the 32 highest ranked company for Bitcoin holdings, just behind Nano Labs and ahead of Core Scientific and KULR. Interesting. Yeah, they look like they're getting really dialed in, right? They look like they're really getting dialed in. So yeah, pretty interesting. Holmes, would you say that? So keep tapping the screen, everybody. Come on. Everybody in this live stream right now, just smash that screen, tap that in, tap. We can smash 30k on this live stream. I appreciate you guys. Also, make sure you hit the like button as well. UK-based, honestly, so easy to trade. I like it. I mean, look, the reality is these Bitcoin treasury companies are going to be crazy. The debate will be whether we can get into some Ethereum treasury companies early. That could be pretty crazy as well. We're going to definitely see some more of those build out. Definitely going to see some more of those build out. We are increasingly seeing a lot of crypto treasury companies popping up left and right, and when they announce the plans to acquire BTC or ETH or any other market cap crypto, yeah, do you see these stocks eventually stealing a lot of liquidity that results in relative altcoin underperforming? No, I don't think so. I think what's interesting with these treasury companies, and some are going to fail, by the way, but I think they'll fail in the bear market. And I think what you'll see is just my view, by the way. I think you'll see treasury companies fail in bear markets as opposed to exchanges. Because I don't think exchanges are silly. I think exchanges are doing OTC deals. You can track that with CryptoQuant. They're doing OTC outflows of Bitcoin to these treasury companies, as well as, by the way, and there is evidence to support this, that we are seeing actual big whale wallets move Bitcoin into these treasury companies, maybe to get yield, maybe it's kind of an OTC thing. I don't know. And I think that's where you'll see an interesting thing. Because you imagine a treasury company, I'm not going to say they're like a Ponzi scheme, but they kind of are while ever the price of Bitcoin's going up. Because, and I don't understand this, and I'm not going to try and profess that I do, but they create yield on volatility, but I'm not quite sure how that works. Other than they trade against the price of BTC, which feels like a crazy risk asset. But as long as BTC goes up, then they'll create yield, which obviously they can offset. Whether they can offset yield versus, let's say, for example, like they create 8% yield and they hold 4% back for when the market's crap. Maybe that's a thing. I don't know, but it's interesting. It is interesting. Aiden, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that, my man. Again, keep tapping that like button. Let's get to 30,000 likes. Let's do it, everybody. We can do it with all the La Familia Madrigal here as well. Put everything into crypto 401k liquidated. Best decision ever. Legendary went bullish. I love that. The smart ones are loading XRP, not BTC. That's true, RPM. I think so. Yeah. Franco, what's going on, buddy? Welcome. Appreciate you. Yeah, I don't want to lose my match. Hoping they add some crypto options. I mean, that's true. I think you'll definitely see that build out. Family says Root Network. Have I seen that before? I feel like I've even done a video on Root Network. The Root Network. Have I done a video on this? $7.64 million market cap. Just under 18k with volume. I mean, the chart looks awful, by the way. And again, I'm not hating, but the chart looks dreadful. I don't know if they've got some kind of crazy catalyst, but Yeah, that's significantly down, baby. That is officially 97% down from its all-time high. If it's the one I think it is, I would not touch that with the barge pole. Just my opinion. Again, I may not be popular for that, but I wouldn't touch that with the barge pole. Depending on when you're in, by the way. If you bought in at the top, sorry. If you're thinking of getting in, I'd walk away from that and not touch it. Not financial advice. Nothing ever on this channel is financial advice, but that chart looks horrible. I have a friend which holds about 20% of the company. Nice. What, of that smart web company? Wow, that's crazy. Could you not set up a business for your YouTube channel to claim back on crypto trips, etc.? Yes. So you can do it. Yeah, you can do it basically. Yeah, that wouldn't be a problem. That wouldn't be a problem at all. I don't know how it sits with work though. That's the only thing. But yeah, I mean, at the minute, I pay my taxes like a sole, as a personal entity, as it were. I don't actually do anything for business. But yeah, I think if I was to go full time on here, then I would have to do something like that. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people get in this narrative that, like, you know, you make huge sums of money on YouTube, and you really don't. You really don't. It's hard graft. It is hard yards. And I think you just have to get to a point where you break. You know, so many people turn up, fail. You know, my view is, look, whatever I've got you guys turning up, whatever we've got, you know, a relatively strong audience coming in, and, you know, we're outperforming who I would deem as my competition in the market, then we'll keep going. We'll keep grinding, and we'll, you know, I'm sure at some point something will happen. And we'll get our break. Again, lots of people do YouTube for years and years. You know, we've only been here for, you know, 3 and a bit years and working hard and grinding hard. So, you know, that's where we get to. Franklin says XRP network, all token gas NFT system dope, partnerships, crazy massive accumulation, AF stakes, and nodes running. Yeah, XRPL is going to be wild. But you don't have to make lots on YouTube. You can still help on taxes. Yeah, that's true. That is true. The problem you've got with that is the correlation between my normal job as well. Don't forget I have a normal job as well. So for a UK entity, I'm a high rate taxpayer. So yeah, unfortunately that does hinder quite significantly actually. So yeah. What would you make? I've always said that I would quit my normal job if I knew that I could sustain my upkeep on YouTube, particularly from a view standpoint, because I think you've got to. Now, when I was the closest to doing it, just to give you an example, by the way, when I was the closest to do it, I was still only making about $1,800 a month from just views alone. Where it comes in, more importantly, is obviously partnerships and deals and stuff like that. That's where you can kind of make it work. But yeah, I mean, at the minute, I think the channel needs to evolve. Now it needs to grow. But yeah, I've been close a couple of times. Because I think to myself, well, what happens if I did go and do it full time and, you know, did a stream in the morning, did the whole social media, I could network loads more. Bear in mind, you know, 9 hours of my day is taken up running, you know, the other company I work for. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, equally though, I feel like I'm in a very similar position to a lot of people. And I feel like, you know, this journey that I'm on is very similar to, as I think many, many people are in this space, that, do you know what? Just hardworking people trying to make it. And that's kind of what we're doing anyway. Ryan S says, high XRP price prediction this year, $8 to $10 is where I've always gone to. Again, not financial advice, just my opinion. VVS Finance today, they wake up Crow family. What's VVS doing? Is it actually doing anything? I think I still actually own some Tectonic. Is that even still a thing? VVS is up 20% today. Nice. Nice. $109 million market cap. Where is it though from an all-time high perspective? So it's had a spike today. It is way down. Man, it's 70% down. I mean, it needs some crazy stuff happening on the ecosystem. But yeah, I mean, look, it's up a little bit. It's up a little bit. Franco says, works a lot with influencers and YouTubers and it's hard game. Do you think you got what it takes, though? What's that? Sorry? Cheese, the mods are ridiculous in there. Where's that? Cool RPM, he banned me for bringing it up. Where do you get banned? Works a lot with influencers and YouTubers. I don't know what you mean, Franco. You've lost me a little bit. Cheese, I went in there weeks back, literally said XRP is scam and got banned messing around. Scottish, what's going on? Says, what's up, 2-bit? SPX 6900 daily zoomed out. Looks incredible and ready to explode. Nice. Nice. Blaze says, jazzy music or marathon. Yeah, I think we're probably there. 30K, we did it. Shout out to everybody on TikTok. That's what I wanted, really. That's what I wanted. Right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow, and as always, look out. BTC recovering. We're now sitting 108.815. Nice. Look at that close on the 109. That'll be bullish for the day. But as always, if you haven't already hit the like button and hit the subscribe button on YouTube, we actually appreciate it. Check out the links as always in the description. If you want anything in this bull market, you've got to earn it. So again, thanks so much, everybody. Catch you on the flip side. Let's hope for a bullish day in the markets. See you soon. Bye.